Hey there, hopefuls, and welcome back to season 2 of the Hopeful Simplicity podcast. We're going to continue with our 15-minute finds to build on those small space successes and talk more about some common organizing situations, questions, and topics. I can't wait to continue to simplify, sort, and sustain our organized and less stressed lives together. So let's jump in. Today's 15-minute finds is going to be in the bathroom. Bathroom linens are one of those things where we purchase them, right? We normally get a set of 2 or 3 towels. You get the big towel, you get the hand towel, you get the bath towel or the wash towel or the body towel or whatever, right? You get the 3 to 4 regular sizes. But when you get new ones, what do you do with the old ones? I don't know. Like there was a pause for me somewhere in my brain when I got new towels of like, well, they're not completely worn out. I can't just get rid of them. They're okay-ish, right? And like I'm not going to take used towels to a shelter and repurpose them or gift them forward because I'm honestly not sure if they take them, and it just kind of feels icky. And I know that might sound funny, but it just feels icky to me. But today we're going to focus in our linen bathroom spaces and declutter any towels that have been replaced or any towels that are overly loved. If you have that one that has the hole in it or it's like ripping at the seam, so you always grab a different one, go ahead and get rid of those. And if you're already full on rags, I think it's time to donate those to the trash bin. So that's the 15 minutes for today, is focus on those towels that have been either replaced or overly loved and declutter them from your spaces. Now set those timers and tune in as we talk about today's organizing topic.
Hey Melissa, what's the best way to stay organised?
Today's topic is brought to you by the Organising Style Quiz. Personal organising styles can vary from person to person and space to space. Determining your style for success is the first step towards simplifying, sorting and sustaining an organised life. Grab your complimentary quiz online today.
I'm not sure I'll ever be adjusted to or accepting to the idea of how many questions really do come with getting organized. And it's not just like those frequently asked ones like, hey, what container do I use? But it's the big picture ones also. It's how do I get organized? How do I stay organized? So when I got this question, what's the best way to stay organized? My brain really went in 17 different directions, but it automatically thought, well, are you organized to start with? Because I can't tell you how many times I have personally, or I have talked to people, or it's come up in group, and it's the ideal of moving this to do that. So I move this pile to clean. So if you're trying to stay organized, why are you moving a pile that's not organized yet? Is the like weird way my brain heard and thought of that question instantly. And of course, here at Hopeful Simplicity, we're like, well, okay, I love the ideal of building a sustainable, organized life. It's the third S to our method. It's sustaining. So if we start there and work our way backwards, let's try that on for a minute. We sustain an organized life by having habits and routines in place to do all the items that you'll find in a home management binder, basically. Did I do the dishes? Do we have a laundry schedule? Do we meal plan? Have I cleaned out the vents? Have I changed the filter? Do I need to add softener to the water heater? All of those things that basically come with running a home, from the daily tasks to the quarterly tasks to the I should call a plumber tasks. All of those are part of the third S, which is sustaining a less stressed and organized life. Because if you've got it organized, you've already done the really, really hard parts, right? You've already decluttered. You've already set up maintainable systems for not just you, but the whole home team, especially in those shared spaces, or set up for just theirs in their single serve spaces, or you in your single serve spaces. But sustaining that, it reminds me of all the times I've said organizing is a lifestyle. It's not just a one and done process. It's a continuation of a lifestyle that we're choosing to live. It's no different than living a healthy lifestyle by correct eating and exercise, right? Or continued education. All of those things are lifestyles you choose. I choose to read books because it calms me and I like to have a calm, meditative state at night. All of those things are lifestyle bits that we choose. And here at Hopeful Simplicity, organizing is the one we're choosing. So what's the best way to stay organized? It's to get organized and then maintain it with that third S. Maintain it with schedules. I know schedules can be daunting and overwhelming and Melissa, I'm so not a micro organizer. I don't like doing schedules, but you don't have to write them down. Maybe at first you write them down. Definitely at first if you have more than just you looking at your home team. That way there's a consistent space and a consistent spot of what needs done and the shift of what needs done from your brain onto paper, onto being asked, hey mom, what do I need to ... That will slowly become into, let me go look at the list. Let me go check that chart. Let me find the schedule and make sure I do that before I go ask mom again. I know it may sound unrealistic and out of reach, and that's funny, Melissa. That may work for you, but not me. But over time, sustaining an organized life really does become a whole home team lifestyle. It may take work. It will take work. It's going to take shifts and adjustments. Some things will work out. I mean, we had habit charts for everybody at first when we started this, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to try to figure out if this is mine or his or whatever. So everybody had their own little chart and it was all in our family command center. But then it was just trying to navigate guiding people to look at the correct space is one thing, but when the correct space has multiple options, it became too difficult. So color coding became a way of our life until like he was older and could manage and navigate. He was like, oh, okay, that's my initial. Let me realize laundry's Thursdays. But anyway, so I know it may sound and feel daunting to think of sustaining an organized life, having some restrictive things, but if you have a schedule to start with, you're not going to have to reference it all the time, right? Like maybe at first you needed to have a sticky note to remember to floss and use mouthwash when brushing your teeth. Over time, you just get used to it, right? Like if you do the dishes every night, at first you needed that reminder on your phone to go bing, ding, 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 right? You need that to go, oh, right, let me go get that done before we head to bed or start our evening routines. But over time, it just becomes a habit, something that is, it's kind of just not even taking up that much space. It's just routine. It's just a habit in your day-to-day schedule that just happens, right? Like I know that once we get done brushing our teeth, we just wipe down the counter because I hate water spots and that's a whole other story. But you don't have to think about it, right? It takes less of your mental space to think checklist, to think to-dos, to think what do I need to do to sustain this space as an organized life. Oh, over time, you don't have to think about it. Over time, it's just natural. It just happened. But the other part of this common question is are you organized to start with? I know a lot of you are like me and I think big picture. I know what I want my end result to be. I want to stay organized. But if we don't start there, how can we stay there? So if we've got the grand picture of, yes, Melissa, I am on board. I know my styles. I know my home team styles. I'm ready to set up some compromises. How do I keep it that way? But I don't want you to think of how can I stay organized if your spaces are still a struggle. If you are maybe in the long run, maybe just that ping in the back of your mind as you're sorting a space, as you're working through that second S of the method, maybe you are like, okay, if I put these boxes for the toys on the top shelf, how can we sustain that moving forward as a home team? Ooh, wait, no, let me put these on the bottom shelf so the kids can put them away. Maybe that is a thought in the big picture. If you're like me, I'm a big picture. I need to see that end result before I'm really willing to dedicate and start the process. So maybe as you're sorting a space, as you're building the organized systems, you do have that, is this sustainable in the back of your mind? It's just that little like ping going on in the back of your mind. It's not like the annoying kind, but like the happy ding kind, okay? Because I don't want you to be annoyed doing this. But if you're working through a space and you're busy sorting it, okay, I am a non-visual person, but they're very macro, so I need to make sure that if we have containers, they don't have lids, and you're sorting all these things for organized success and compromises in the whole team to start shifting into maintaining the small spaces, right? So as you're doing that, maybe you do think of a sustaining schedule. Maybe you do think, oh, if I put these toys on the bottom shelf and see how that goes for a little while, and then in a couple weeks, you know what? Let's initiate a 5-minute pickup for the home team in the living room at night. Maybe that's happening in the back of your head, but I don't want you to start with the how can you sustain it? Because if you're thinking about keeping and staying organized, but it's a broken system, I don't want you to waste your time. I don't want you to keep and worry about how do I keep this clutter around because it's a broken system and isn't working for us, right? This space could serve us better. Let me make sure it's set up to be sustainable. Let me make sure I have the right systems in place. Do you need a one-drop system for the home team because you don't want to follow them around and put things away, air quote, properly? Do you need open shelves because if they can't see where it goes, it's not going to get put away? The questions around how to get organized are endless in itself, but then you have the additional ones about, great, what's the best way to stay this way? It's to get that way first.
Today's episode was sponsored by the Small Space Successes book series. Have you tried getting organised before, but it didn't stay that way? Or maybe you're not quite sure where to start when it comes to organising your home. The Small Space Successes series can help you determine your personal organising style. Discover the types of spaces you have and walk through one small space at a time. Order your copy today at hopefulsimplicity.com.
And that's it for today. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share this with all of your favorite friends. And until next time, stay hopeful.